Welcome to the Shootin' the Q podcast, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue, with tips, tricks, and an inside look with some of the top pitmasters in the game. Now here's your host, Heath Riles.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Shootin' the Q. I'm joined today with my lovely wife, Candace. How are you today, baby?
I'm good.
You still wore out?
I am. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I think both of us are still tired. We just got back from Key West a couple days ago. This is day 2 of being back to reality, and it sucks. I don't know no better way to put it. I'm glad to be back, but it sucks.
Vacation / not vacation, I guess.
It's the tiredest vacation I've ever come home from.
It's great scenery, but a lot of work.
A lot of work,
For a good cause, though.
Hey, raising money, and we're still waiting to hear the final number.
Yeah.
But for raising money for pediatric brain cancer, it was worth the sweating. I'll say that.
A lot of sweating.
A lot of sweating.
Like a whole lot.
A whole lot. So to start off, we stayed at the Ocean's Edge Resort and Marina in Key West, Florida, which is a beautiful resort. Great. Food was great at the restaurant. Cocktails were great, as we know.
Yeah.
And we love the fact that we left right there from that marina to go fishing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of the hotel and all that?
I thought it was good. I don't have any complaints about it. I guess when you think of Key West, a lot of people think about beach, and we were more marina side, which was what we were there for, though. So It made sense.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people do think of the beach when they think of Key West.
And there's not beach area there. Like I said, it's a marina. I mean, those people that stay there, I assume, are there to fish and do that type of thing.
There was a little about maybe a 15-foot beach area where they rented the kayaks at right there behind us, where we got the golf cart rental at behind the hotel there.
Gotcha. You
know where I'm talking about? If you come out our door and look, it was kind of right there, kind of where we loaded on the boats, but it was kind of right on the other side there.
Gotcha. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, we arrived on Thursday, and the invitational did not start until really Saturday. So we had Friday to kind of mess around. So we rented that golf cart.
We had a captain's meeting Friday.
Yeah, that
later.
Evening.
I rented the golf cart, and that's crazy. You just drive through the whole city on a golf cart going. I don't know how fast that thing went, but I know the cars were going way faster than us, and it was kind of terrifying.
I mean, it would run 25, which still. I believe our golf cart needed some steering stabilizers or something, because it was all over the road. It was the cart was drunk, and at that moment we were not drinking.
Was it the cart was drunk or the driver?
Well, I didn't drive.
I didn't drive either. I just like to say that.
I'm not throwing any names out there.
No,
I didn't drive.
Me either. Not once did I drive.
Yeah. And so that day we went into a restaurant, and what was that called? Two Brothers Restaurant, or what was that?
I think
no, where the baby chickens were at for lunch. Two Friends
patio or something
and brewery.
like that.
Right.
It was a brewery, like a local brewery. Yes.
They had really good beer. I do remember that.
Yeah, that's where you had watermelon beer, passion fruit beer.
I think it was passion fruit. It had a red amber ale, which was the best one, actually.
I had a martini.
Yes, you did.
Gin
Extra
martini.
dirty.
Gin martini, the only way to go, in my opinion.
And then when we were sitting there waiting on the appetizer, and we're inside this old remodeled house restaurant.
Yeah.
And it had a breezeway in between it. And here come the chickens inside the restaurant.
So I think, back up, if you've never been to Key West, chickens are a thing. They're everywhere. Roosters, cocks, chickens, whatever you want to call them. They're everywhere. All throughout the city, just everywhere. They're just running free.
I mean, Rhode Island Reds were everywhere.
They were. And you were saying, they just came into the restaurant while we were eating.
They were pecking around. I couldn't help it. They were hungry. I couldn't help but throw them a cracker. They were babies.
They were
and
little.
They went nuts over that little cracker, did they
And
not?
then what did you feed them?
A piece of chicken.
Yeah, you did.
It was just a small piece.
What did you just say it? I wanted you to feel guilty.
It was just a small piece. Why would I feel guilty?
They ate it, though.
They got to eat. I'm not feeling guilty. What the hell's wrong with you? Feeling guilty about that?
You should.
They got to eat.
Oh, gosh, you should.
Then we left there, and we went back, and we hung out at the resort I believe in the bar is where we went to, where kind of everybody else was at before the captain's meeting that day. And then we went and we had, at the captain's meeting, we rolled over to, no, we're still talking about the night before. So that night we went to the docks, right? That Friday night after we went to.
Well, you're skipping around, but you were already,
My days gets mixed up. We were on island time.
When we got there, we did go eat at a restaurant, but then you were already talking about Friday, how we went to eat lunch that day during the day on the golf cart. That was on Friday.
And then we arrived. That night we took the golf cart to the docks. Remember? Hogfish bar. We went to the Hogfish bar. Was that Thursday? See, that was Thursday.
I told you. The night we got there, we went to the docks.
Okay.
The next day, we went to lunch, and then we went to the rum distillery and had the captain's meeting. And then after that, we went and ate. Where did we go eat? Two friends, patio restaurant. Yeah, because it was late, and we were just kind of had to tried to find something near where we were, which it was not bad at all.
Now the rum distillery was pretty cool that we were at.
It was a neat looking area. It'd be neat to hold an event there. Yeah,
it really was kind of antique and eclectic.
But that's where we got to meet I didn't meet our captain then. I think you said you saw him
met
briefly.
Kelso then. He introduced himself and all that after kind of we got paired up. And he asked me if I was ready for a good time, and I was like, you really don't know me that well then. And so we met at the docks the next morning, ready to go fishing, and absolutely had a blast with him. They sat down a pallet of beer, pallet of water, a pallet of some other kind of drinks, a pallet of cocktails, and you could just get what you wanted for the boat. And so it was absolutely great when it come to that. They had ice machines right there at the dock, so everybody filled up and kind of loaded on boats, and we headed out going fishing about 8 a.m., I do wish we could have left sooner at daylight, but I think them trying to coordinate everything was the problem.
Yeah.
It was the reason they done an 8 a.m. start time. But we had a great time. We didn't catch a barracuda or anything like that.
Well,
tarpon.
Back up a little. I mean, so you said Kyle Kelso was our captain.
All water
charters there in Key West. And we were with him multiple days, not just the one day. And then, like you were saying, the pallets of beverages, I mean, those were sponsors of the event. It was Coors Light. Liquid Death was a sponsor.
All Hands seltzers.
It was like a seltzer. I'm sure we're missing some. I don't think
the drink bombs.
Yeah. There were all different kinds of options.
Several. It was kind of too much to drink. And it was also Tito's vodka there.
Yeah, Tito's was there as well.
Plenty of it. Going out that day, I know we didn't catch a barracuda or a tarpon, but I hooked a big lemon shark, which is great, about killed me, trying to get it to the boat. And then you immediately got on a nurse shark right after that.
I can't really take the credit for catching it. I don't feel like I caught it, but I did reel it in. I'm not sure.
Well, we were dragging bait.
I think Kelso probably caught that one, and I just reeled it in, but,
Well, he picked the rod up to hand to you, but he was trolling it behind the boat.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How it done. He just didn't want it to rip out of there, He didn't know how big it was. But we had a great time. We come back to the bank, and, of course, they tallied fish as we went.
That's what I was about to say. So that's kind of how the contest worked for day one. We went out fishing, and they had this app that they used, and we had to log everything, like take photos of the fish that we caught, and our captain did it for us. So he had to take a photo and submit it on the app, and that's how they caught up with every, kind of fish that everybody caught, how many, and tallied the points. Each fish, like sharks were worth, certain types of sharks were worth more than these smaller fish and that kind of thing. Some of the more rare fish were worth a lot more points and all that.
And your second species of a fish was worth less points.
Right. And you could only catch, I think 5 max of a species. It may have been less than that, but I think it was about 5.
So we caught, grunts, several species of snappers, all kinds. That lemon shark, a nurse shark. It seems like.
I feel like we caught more than that, but maybe.
Yeah, we did. I don't think we wrote all of them down.
Probably not, but I know we have footage of it.
Yeah, a lot of footage. a lot of footage. You know, I would love to have kept some of the fish to really cooked a fresh video for that, but I know down there we weren't able to do that and bring home. But I do have some fresh fish we caught
previous trip.
Just 4 days prior. We were lucky enough to be in Orange Beach fishing, and we caught some good snapper down there, and we have some snapper that we
totally
brought back.
Different.
Totally
fish
different.
In there.
Totally different. We were bay fishing in Key West, and we were deep water fishing in Orange Beach, which are two totally different types of fishing. But that was your second fishing trip, Key West, and the week prior being in Orange Beach. So you tell me, do you like
deep sea fishing?
Yeah, deep. Do you like fishing deep water, or do you like fishing the shallow water like we were at in the Keys?
I mean, I like both, I think, honestly. I've grown up fishing my whole life, but it's mainly been like big lakes or small lakes, you know, catfish, brim, bass, that kind of thing. Never really been out fishing on the ocean until recently. But I think both are exciting, and you get totally different types of fish because, you know, Key West, they have stuff that you're more than likely not going to catch in Orange Beach. And yeah, different water depths and that kind of thing, and totally different boat experiences too. Going out deeper, the water is definitely rougher to me, depending on the day, but
like at Orange Beach?
Yeah, like going out further.
Well, going out the bay is real choppy going out at first, and then it kind of smooths out there. But, yeah, it's not as smooth as Key West.
And then I feel like Key West, it kind of took me back to, like, being our big local lake around here is Pickwick, and it's a big one, and it connects to
Tennessee
River, all different kinds of channels and stuff. So I felt like I was on that lake or that river, or, you know, it was just.
I never felt like it when I was in Key West.
I mean, you know, I mean, as far as the boat ride experience, like, it wasn't crazy. It didn't make me sick, and, you know, it was a little choppy, but at times. But
that first day we went out fishing, the water was smooth as glass. We couldn't have asked for a better day that day. Now, it was a little choppy, but it was like maybe 1 foot chops. It wasn't
even nearly. It really wasn't choppy. It was more of like riding into wakes from other boats and then like just hitting that. But that happens on like Pickwick and stuff too. So
first day of lobster season, and when we got out there, we knew why it was so choppy, right? Because it was boats lined up for miles.
Yeah,
you know, the next day out there on that reef barrier looking for lobster.
So day two, we went with our same captain, and we went lobster diving. I won't say we, because I'll be honest, I did not do it.
You couldn't brag yourself to get off in shark-infested waters?
Well, so I was it wasn't even that. I guess I was kind of under the impression that lobstering was like 3 to 5 feet deep. Gonna get in, kind of stand up and do that. That is not what it is. That is not it. Also, like, Kelso brought a good friend of his, Jocelyn, and Jocelyn was very experienced in lobstering, and without her, I mean, I think Kelso lobsters frequently as well, but he even said Jocelyn is better than him. She does it a lot, and she said she's been doing it since she was a kid, you know, and I mean, just to watch her trying to teach us, like, it was amazing, and you have to be like an athlete. Like, this is not for a fat boy and girl to just jump in and go diving. And like, she was amazing at what she did.
She was very awesome at what she did. We got some great underwater footage with the GoPros. I got in the water, went down a few times, but I'm going to tell you, when it got to where it was 10 and 12 foot of water, I tapped out. Just snorkeling. If we would have had a tank, it would have been a little bit different, but I have not done anything like that since my early 20s. And, yeah, it is a total different, especially what got me was the current was really strong. And so you could dive, and then you could pop back up, and you're 20 foot away from the boat already because the current was carrying you so far.
It was very strong that day.
And
even she said.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I consider myself a very good swimmer, and the current was pretty good where we were at certain points that day. Yeah,
so I mean, so I think total So to keep a lobster legally, it has to be a certain size requirement, and I believe it's 3 inches, and you measure that from
between the eyes
and the tail
to the back of where the tail starts.
Yeah, so it's like
shell.
their head, basically, nothing to do with their tail. So that's the way the competition worked. Was we got points for all the lobster that we caught, but we just couldn't keep the ones that were not legal.
We kept 8.
We had 8 that were legal.
13.
Yes,
is what we caught.
So we threw 5 back because they were small.
And the first place team caught 14 lobster.
Yep.
And that would have been Mr. Stale Cracker himself and his team. And I can say that, knowing Justin, he's very athletic. Being an ex-police officer, he stayed in very good shape. And let's face it, Stale Cracker is a hell of a, outdoorsman.
Yeah.
He grew growing up in Louisiana and, doing the fishing and crabbing. And he said he was in Maine not long ago doing lobstering in traps. But they run crawfish traps and stuff and noodle all the time.
So I think talking about Maine and talking about these lobsters, that's a good point. These lobsters are different. They did not have claws at all. It was just...
They were spiny.
They were spiny.
You had to have on gloves to pick them up underwater or when you got to the top of the water to keep them getting poked.
Right.
And, of course, as we know, they are a lot different cooked than a cold water lobster.
They are. So I actually let's back up before we get there. So the gist of that day was we caught our lobster, as many as we could, kept what we could, threw it back. And then we went to a sandbar. And once all the teams had a time to be at the sandbar, and they had already set up green eggs for all the teams and tents, and it's like in the middle of the water. I mean...
And we'll show some pictures just for reference. We had to get out and walk up on this sandbar a good... 3/10 of a mile maybe to where we were cooking at.
And so let's say when we got there, this water was around our ankles.
Where we docked the boat at.
Yeah.
And we had to walk up.
And then, okay, you're right. So where we walked up onto the sand, there was no water at that time, like touching our feet. We were just on sand, and that's where the little green eggs were for everybody. So then that's when we get into bringing the lobster. We had to...
they bring out beer.
Lobster.
They bring out beer, and for the people that didn't catch a lot of lobster, they brought out a cooler of lobster.
They had extra.
They brought out 100 pounds of shrimp. A loco boiler started boiling shrimp right there on site on a sandbar. They brought Wagyu steaks from RC Ranch. Had big tomahawks out there, and so everybody carried a little seasoning with them and some butter, and actually, the W Sauce guys put together like a pantry, and it had some butter and some garlic, herbs, some pans, some foil, a few odd things you would need out in the middle of nowhere to really cook those lobsters. And we all carried a little bag with us, a Yeti bag. It had a few seasons and stuff in it, a Yeti bucket, and so it all worked out great. But 4 hours time, between 4 and 5 hours we were there. And by the time we left, and like I said, we'll throw a picture up, water had got to almost the top of my knees and was probably 4 to 5 inches from the bottom of the green eggs.
Yeah. From
the last picture, they took all the tents up. There was a couple grills still sitting there, right, and me and Matt Pittman was talking. And then everybody started gathering up for one big picture before we left. And the water was up almost to our ankles. So to be 20 miles out, offshore on a sandbar and water rise up while you're sitting there cooking lobsters, it's by far the wildest, most beautiful, intense thing that I've ever been involved with barbecue. I've considered myself I've been to Hollywood to shoot commercials. I've been to other countries to cook barbecue, but 20 miles offshore, cooking lobster in crystal clear, beautiful blue water was absolutely amazing.
It was crazy. It was
still
definitely
runs chills up my arm.
It was an experience. I mean, it was crazy.
Well, and the best thing about the whole thing to me, that was just the second day, and so we wrapped that up. We loaded the boats up, went back, and on the way back, we got caught in a rainstorm.
Well, back up. So where we were going with that was how the lobster is different. I don't think we ever finished that small part, but if you want to I mean, it's just.
So we dissected our lobsters and we split the tails down where I could grill them in half. But the warm water lobster tails are going to be a little bit more tough. Yeah. They're not as.
So I tasted it and I'm
chewy.
like, this is tough. This is chewy. Well, then Jocelyn tasted it. She was like, this is not like, this is awesome.
I
like,
cooked it to like 130 to 135. All of them. They was dead money when I pulled them.
It's just different texture.
Different texture down there on those types of lobsters. Now, I did not get any of it, but Max.
Oh, yeah. I watched him film that video.
He brought a Maine lobster with him from the mainland out in a cooler and done a video side by side of both while we were there.
Yeah.
And which Matt was my first time meeting Max, the meat guy, and great guy. He has an inspiring story of how he come about, and it's just amazing to see so many people come on the scene in barbecue and cooking in so many different ways, I guess.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. He also was generous enough to give us some of his jerky to try, and I still have not tried all of them, but I even told him that day I tried the chicken buffalo one. For one, I don't think I've ever had a chicken jerky. I know that they make all types of other jerky, but I don't know that I've ever had chicken or buffalo, but it was great. It was very good jerky.
It was good.
And I'm picky. Heath can tell you I eat jerky a lot.
Yeah.
But it was great.
All right, so we leave the Sandbar.
Yep.
And we get about halfway back, and we notice that it's just straight rolling down rain. Kelso turns around and goes, we ain't got but one choice, that's to go through it.
Got to man up.
So what do? We put the slingshot down. I think we started passing boats in. He put it down, and we started plowing through it. And we luckily got on the outside edge of it and kind of beat it, to be honest with you. I think some of the people behind us got a lot more worse than what we did. But we did plow through it and get back to sunny weather real quick.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've been in rainstorms like that on a boat before, but
almost sunk a couple, haven't we?
For those that haven't, like, it hurts. If you're going in a boat and the rain like is just pelting you. Of course, my lovely husband's on the back of the boat, safe area, and I'm up front taking. You
chose where the seats. You wanted the cushion.
Yeah.
Ride, so you got the cushion ride.
It was not a cushion ride up there, but okay, if you say so. He's sitting in a lovely cushioned seat, like a recliner in the back. But yeah, I was sitting on a cooler.
I don't think it was a cushion seat. It almost caused me to have a hemorrhoid.
Oh, God. So shut up. Nobody wants to know.
All right, so day 3, after the day 2 of lobster diving, and I think after the lobster diving, did I wind up in the pool?
Yes, you did.
And you had to keep referencing me.
Well, so the plan was that when we all got back from lobster diving, they actually had a cigar tour of a
cigar factory.
Yeah, of a cigar factory. And the last I knew, we were all going, and that was going to be, I think, at like 5:30 is when the buses or shuttles were leaving for that. So I was like, well, it's already 4 o'clock. I better get ready. So I'm up in the room getting ready, and 5:30 comes and goes, and we did not go to the cigar factory.
I didn't make it to the room.
No, you didn't.
I happened to get caught in the pool with Chad Ward. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. And the Miller Lights and everything else was flowing, and we forgot all about the cigar factory. It just didn't happen that way. We never made it to that cigar factory.
Well, I was hungry, so I was ready to go somewhere.
So that's where we left, and we went somewhere to get something to eat, right?
Yeah, you finally came to the room, and we all got ready and went to.
That's when we went to the Hogfish Bar, right?
No, we went to the Conch Republic.
Yeah, the Conch Republic. That's right.
I don't know what you're like. Did you go on another trip that none of us were on? Like in your mind, what
yes,
did you do while
we were there? I hung out with this dude. He was wild the whole time.
Ricky. I know.
Ricky.
I tried to tag him on social media. But
he don't have a Facebook page.
He's got his privacy settings on.
Yeah, he
I don't know.
Facebook page. He don't like being seen online. He's one of them types of guys. You know. But back to the news reporting.
So we went to eat that night, and then the next day was the barbecue contest.
Yes. But at the Conch Republic, we were sitting there.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and I seen this gentleman. And I looked over at Candace, and I said, he was an older gentleman, bald head, mustache. And he had on this Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops, you remember? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know him from anywhere. And I looked at Candace, and I said, yep, that's going to be me in about 10 years right there. I mean, he had a great-looking family, you know, a beautiful wife. I mean, everything, and his kids and everything were older. And come to find out, the guy walked up. His daughter goes to school to Ole Miss. He's from Africa.
South Africa.
Owns 26 restaurants in Africa, a sauce bottling company, and makes America's, what he considered America's best sweet Thai chili sauce and chutney.
We have some bottle. We should have brought that bottle, but yeah.
I know. And both his products are phenomenal. So I'm going to have to say that Heath and Candace are going to have to start selling them on their website because they are that good, without a doubt.
So his wife, Tess, was actually generous enough. We started talking, you know, about different, I guess their son knew who you were. He saw you and knew who you were, and that's when they introduced themselves. But his wife actually left the restaurant and was like, I want you guys to have this. And so she left while we were eating, went and got us 3 bottles of the chutney and 3 bottles of the
sweet Thai chili sauce.
Yeah, and brought it back to us to try.
It's actually called Drosco Sauce. Yeah. And so, really unique name, really unique people. I like them. I can't wait to get together with him again. And they have a house at Key West now that they live in. Like I said, their daughter.
I think it's just in Florida. I don't think it's in Key West.
No, they have one in Key West and one in Florida.
Well, they were renting the one they were at, she said.
And like I said, his daughter goes to school at Ole Miss here, which is pretty cool. He knew where Oxford was at, and that's not but about 40 minutes from us here.
Yeah.
So, really, really huge networking event. We also got to hang out. We met for the first time John McLemore and his son, and their family started Masterbuilt Smokers back in the day, and eventually had the Kamado Joe distributorship and was purchased by Char Griller. And John, phenomenal guy, great story. I can't wait to sit down with him. Met another gentleman that was in the beer business previously, and they're partnered up now, and they own RC Ranch, which is a Wagyu beef farm in Texas. They have an incredible story, still work animals, you know, the cowboys do, like back in the day. And I can't wait till we get out there and kind of show some farm-to-table stuff. We're going to be going to Texas, you know, soon, of course. Of course, I might have to go hunting while we're out there in Texas. And, you know, I love them deer.
Yeah.
And, but I can't wait till we get back out there and see some of that. That's going to be really good going to Texas now, meeting those guys.
Met a lot of people, I mean, while we were there.
Yes.
Mel.
Yes. Mel from Canada, Dark Side of the Group, was one of the most entertaining guys you will ever meet. Full of life.
He is.
You know, we hung out with Tim Van Dorn, Bama Grill Master, of course, Justin Stell Cracker, Ryan Lane from Lane's Barbecue. I never had been around Ryan, but I can tell you, great guy. He's going to be coming on the show before it's over. He's going to fly over and come in office here and be on live instead of doing it over a Zoom.
Matt Pittman was there. Chad Ward was there.
Cosmo was there.
Tone.
Yep, Tone.
Max the Meat Guy, we said that.
It's so many people, a lot of people from Big Green Egg, Barbecue Buddha.
Blazing Star,
Mike.
I'm sure we're forgetting some people.
Oh, I know we're forgetting people.
But there were all kinds of people there.
The guys from Briggity Bomb.
Yes.
JJ and JD.
Thank you, Landon, for taking me to the store.
That's right. Great guys. You know, you can't beat those Texas guys. You think about all the guys from Texas and how hospitable they are. And not saying that other people are not.
Yeah.
But you look at the guys that come from Texas, they bring a different culture with them when they come.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they're there to have a damn good time.
Yeah.
A big time. And you can't fault them for that, which is great.
Meet Dave was there.
Oh,
Can't believe we would forget that.
Oh, just wait till the video comes out. So we were fortunate enough to film just about everything we done, and there happened to be a belly flop contest. Now, where we were cooking at on Monday, they sectioned off 2 pool decks with a bunch of barbecue guys and give us a pool to hang out at to get in.
We needed
while
it.
we were cooking.
It was hot.
Oh, it was. I was in the pool every 15 minutes, no doubt. Flip something on the green egg, shut the lid, and go back to the pool.
You had to.
You had to. It was humid. But being on the side of that pool deck, they had, the bar set up. Everything was flowing. It was just a good time for people to come out, sample food. And we cooked, they give everybody 4 slabs of ribs, 2 whole Wagyu picanhas from RC Ranch, 4 RC Ranch, beautiful ribeyes. And we all got some salmon. Several people, I think, cooked some tenderloins, and maybe they had some more lobster left that grilled over. Lobster. But we were still grilling some of our other stuff. But everything turned out phenomenal. And I had Matt Pittman's taco that he had.
I did too. I tried it.
Crushed up, flaming hot Funyuns on. And I will tell you, with a horseradish sauce and a chopped up picanha was very, very good. Different and so good.
It was good.
Just so many different and unique dishes. And ways to do
the
stuff.
contest kind of worked like you had to turn in the 4 items that you mentioned, but then you also, what was left over, you kind of served to the people who had paid to attend this event. They had boxes set up, and we collected tokens, kind of like a People's Choice type deal. So we turned in, we were judged, and then we were judged by the general public as well, is kind of how that worked. So this was an all-day thing, as you can imagine, because, cooking started off turning in the ribeye, like you said, and then I think the last thing we turned in was the ribs. So, it was an all-day event outside at the pool, and we had a lot of time, and that's when it turned into belly flop contest.
And Dave somehow had on USA Speedos, and he had on shorts, and so he got everybody in the crowd to start chanting USA, and then he dropped his pants.
And there they were.
And there were the Speedos. And then he proceeded to...
No, not the first time.
Yeah, the second time.
That was the, final round.
Yeah, the final round of the belly flop contest, he proceeded, since he made the final round,
he did.
to pour a bottle of Fireshire W sauce over his body, rub it in, spank himself, and dive in the pool.
He didn't dive. He belly flopped.
Belly flopped, which was totally awesome. And would you expect anything else from a man that tours on a comedy tour? No.
I mean...
He killed it. He killed it.
He did. He won.
No, actually, John McLemore, I think, won the whole belly flop. But he dove up in the air and got a good one. That's
true. He did, because they were saying no running, but he got up on...
No, that was a guy from RC
that's
Ranch.
Right. That was somebody else.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
I don't know. Heath would not enter the belly flop contest. We all tried, but he judged it.
I judged it, commentated. A few people need to eat a few more skillets of cornbread, but it was all good. But doing all that, turning in everything, and then they started to do awards. And we did not hear our name called. We were not there to be serious. I'm going to be honest. We were there to have a good time, raise money. And so after everything got put together, Bama Grill Masters, Dark Side of the Grill, TFTI Barbecue, they were like part of the W Sauce team is what they made up, because all of them had different.
Or from different areas.
Different areas and stuff. And they actually won the event. But I will say Mel done a great job outworking the crowd, getting people to their booth and drop their tokens. Done a great job. And Tim and him killed it with food, cooked some incredible dishes. What can I say?
Yeah.
I mean, great time.
So I think that Burton said at the end that just that day, of the barbecue contest, $25,000 was raised, but that was not the total, that it was going to take them some time to get all that, but that was just what they knew right at that time, and this was right then. So I'm sure we'll eventually get a total of what they were able to raise for pediatric brain cancer.
It was all a great event. They say next year they're going to double the event, double the amount of teams. And if they do that, it should be a wild time.
Yeah.
This year, for be thrown together in 3 months, I thought they'd done a great job.
Yeah, they did do a great job.
They had a few hiccups from a couple of vendors, but it was not their fault.
Yeah.
Just the vendors didn't follow through with everything they were supposed to do, and we've all been there before that. But
overall, they made it work no matter what happened. They made it come together. Again, the event was put on by Bear Burton. I'm not going to leave Jen out, Bear's wife, because that lady was constantly hustling. So
she was a hustler.
Bear Burton and Jen. Yeah, she worked her tail off. I watched her every day running around doing stuff. So, and I'm sure it was more than those three. I'm not trying to exclude anybody, but Elliot also did, like I said, I'm not trying to exclude.
I'm sure Mike D jumped in there, and he was all over stuff nonstop. And Mike D used to kind of, what was his official title at Memphis in May at one time?
I don't know his official title. He's just always been Mike D.
He was Mike D, the man. If you needed something, Mike D took care of it. It was simple as that. And that's the way kind of he was in Florida. He was all over everybody, making sure they had meat and they got everything they needed. And are you good or this and that? And it wouldn't even, I think he volunteered with them, but he was just, that's Mike D's attitude.
Yeah.
He's a team player, 110%.
Yeah.
And he was going to be sure he's the last one to fly to Key West that day.
He sure was. He didn't want to miss anything.
He took the last flight and wanted to drink the whole time before he got on the airplane. Can't blame him there. I think we had a few of those cocktails ourselves on the plane.
Well, everybody's flight got delayed as we were leaving. We were only delayed by it was supposed to be an hour, but I think it ended up being more. But we got home. Some people I don't think got home the day that they were supposed to, but hopefully everybody's home safely now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully by the end of the week, we will have our travel vlog video out, which should be kind of recap this whole trip. We captured a lot of amazing footage. Our team is working on everything now, but of course going through that amount of data that they collected is going to take a minute to put it all together and make it really look good. We hope, I'm sure everything was going to turn out great with it, and we hope you guys love the video that we put together because it's some good times, some good laughs in it, and I know it's going to be good when everything's said and done with it. And everything that Bear Burton done, raised all the money for pediatric brain cancer, everybody coming together. Me personally, I can't wait to be a part of next year's event. I've already made notes of what I need to do differently and everything else. So it's going to be a great time no matter what. And I just can't wait till next year.
Yeah. Me either.
For sure.
Who turns down going to Key West for anything?
Not many people. That's for sure. I know Ricky liked it. For sure. Well, be sure to join in next week when we have another episode. We'll be coming back with you, Shootin' the Q, folks. Hope you enjoyed everything. See you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Shootin' the Q podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels or through our website. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Leave us a review if you enjoyed the show. Until next time, keep shooting the Q.